Peace. So I came across this story last week about a 28-year-old teacher in a middle school who got in trouble for allegedly trying to pursue a sexual relationship with a student in school. It actually features something to the odds of something I believe, something to the odds of like her sending some type of like explicit photos to his phone from Snapchat or something like that. I read the story a little bit in detail, but I just wanted to review this clip and review another clip today because it seems as if the sexual prowess of a lot of these teachers in school is starting to become more spread out now. And maybe it's something I discussed or maybe it didn't. But just the fact that the nature of a lot of these teachers who want to pursue these sexual relationships with students and nowadays they're bold with it. Before, I get it. We're all young men or men and stuff like that. Of course, they're in school. It was a teacher that you liked. It's a female teacher, female instructor, professor, whatever. You had a crush on them because they was attractive and this, that, and the third. But you understood by the regular rules, and they understood by the regular rules. It wouldn't be favorable to talk to each other and try to pursue something outside of school. But of course, it's no different. This whole entire thing with this generation, they don't mind having sexual relationships between kids and adults. It's like I've always said, like they're trying to blur the lines between children and adults. Adultify the children, and adults become like the children in their decisions. You understand? So I decided to give this a go to talk a little bit more about this and how I think it's such a contradiction to many degrees where when it comes to the man, he will be vilified for having a relationship or attempting to do something with a student. But when it comes to a woman, it's kind of like a soft core punishment. Usually they have these soft sentencing and, things like that. Usually the man owns the onus for the strictest punishment, but not the woman. So I wanted to go over this video in a second video that I had found ironic upon my research. So Pete. Fair use.
We're learning new details about troubling accusations against a now former Midwest City middle school teacher. She's facing felony charges for photos police say she never should have sent. News 4's Natalie Clydesdale has the latest. Natalie?
Well, Brent, there's now a warrant out for 28-year-old Ivy Renault's arrest for allegedly sending nude pictures and an inappropriate video to a 16-year-old student in the Middle District.
It's just never a good idea.
Disturbing allegations surfacing against a now former Midwest City middle school employee.
Sometimes it's better just to, maybe take a pause and think it's not the best idea to do.
You may.
I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but they're not thinking like that. They need some dick, and they need some dick now. I mean, look, listen, listen. I know this is not really talked about. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But there's just been reports from brothers, whether in real life or if I heard things and stuff like that, where they've said they was about 14 or 16 years old the first time they had sex, and they remember having sex with one of their teachers in school. They stayed after school and this, that, and the third. And a lot of people really don't touch upon these very predatory behaviors when it comes to school, unless it has to deal with men. And I will stay on that because I do believe that when it comes to women, they usually get off the hook. Or usually they have a light sentencing or punishment, like I said before in the beginning of this video, And then you wonder why sometimes that these young boys become very hypersexual when they go to high school, or they look for a reason to, look at women inappropriately. I'm not saying that based off of the teacher, but the teacher can produce that action for the child to act out and look at women not the same, or try to really gain his taste in trying to adore or try to allure older women.
Remember last week, News 4 told you about a faculty member overhearing a student say, quote, he had been sent nude pictures by a teacher. We now know that teacher is 28-year-old Ivy Renault, and there's a warrant.
And what I want to know is in this clip, the ironic thing about this was it solicited? Like, was it something that he wanted, right? Unsolicited, was it something that he allowed for and stuff like that? I mean, for a whole year? Now you have to look at the student disparagingly, and you know, this is where we talk about logic, right? We talk about the fact of the matter that we can't just let him off the hook. You know, he's a young child. Yes, we can go off of the fact of the matter he doesn't know any better, but at the same time, you were looking for it too. See, if I had a child, I would have that discussion and be like, look, listen, son. I mean, I understand, you know, she may be attractive. She may have all the body and this, that, and third. She's older. She's 28 years old. But let's be honest. Did you really want to have sexual relations with that teacher? Yes or no? And so that conversation will go there. But like, I mean, sent for a whole year? He was getting nudes like on Friday after school. Like, let me send that. Like, you know, let's meet up. I mean, it's crazy.
Warrant out for her arrest. New court documents reveal that Renault, who's also a former assistant soccer coach, met the 16-year-old student at a practice and, quote, heard rumors that he liked her and wanted to watch her run. She then allegedly added the teen on Snapchat.
Oftentimes with our young people and our teens.
So what the fuck is this? Like, she heard little things about homeboy because he sat up there and said, oh, you know, I got a crush on her. She's hot and this, that, and the third. And she's just like, okay, I'm going to go up on that Snapchat and start sending all those flicks for like 15 seconds so he can get a view of this nice little new bra I got. Or maybe I should sit up there and buy some new Victoria's Secret bra and panties. Up the game, probably watch some, given some Savage X Fenty. Who the hell knows? But like, you hear how this story sounds weird? Like, who out their right mind from a rumor is going to just sit up there and say, because this boy, I have suspicion this boy likes me. I'm going to go ahead on Snapchat, add the dude, and start sending naked pics to this guy. Jeez.
Features, there's an implied sense of trust. One of the advantages of Snapchat has been that, you know, you can send it to someone, it's very short, it's very quick, and it disappears, and theoretically, it's gone forever.
Documents
Yeah, theoretically, but I mean, there's always a windfall to that. You know, people could save it. And, you know, also the fact of the matter that these days they have these premium sex, these premium Snapchats and stuff like that. I really don't know how a lot of these things go. I stick to the regular old social medias, even still with that. You know, there's so many things that, honestly, if you look on both sides of the equation, you look at both sides of the situation, her predatory behavior could have got her in trouble because they could have been sitting up there downloading them Snapchats or finding ways to screenshot it, and then they can post it up on things like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and they could call it. And I remember they did this. To these little girls in high school, which is so sad that they downloaded their photos and stuff like that and posted it up on like something called like smut pages or whore pages or stuff like that on social media. So I will always advise people, especially when it comes to the sexual aspect of things, regardless if it's a predatory 28-year-old like this one, or, you know, young girls or young boys in questions. Like, y'all got to be careful with this whole entire sending explicit nude pictures to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously one party can take advantage of that and just air you out. Or these days they like to say dox you. You understand?
detail Renault allegedly sent the teen several nude photos and an inappropriate video, and the teen showed some of his teammates.
Before you hit send, you should assume that you might as well be taking that picture and posting it on a billboard on the side of, Broadway Extension over here.
Renault admitted to a Midwest City police detective that she sent the pictures according to court records. She also denied there was ever a physical relationship between the two, but confessed, quote, they talked about hanging out one time, but never went through with it.
So that means she had a conscience, because she knew what she was doing was wrong. She knew that what she was doing was going to get her in trouble and that she was going to be reprimanded for her actions. So all of this shit basically for a year with this young boy was all about teasing. They never hooked up. They never did anything, but she had no problem sending videos and sending all those different pictures to this young boy. And she was scared. I mean, look, listen, 28 years old. Yes, I understand you're young. You're approximately 12 years older than this child, and you couldn't find a dating app to sit up there and date a man your age. Like I said, when it comes to these women, what is going to be the sentencing she's going to get by the time she's arrested? And for this to make news, you obviously know that it's a real big warrant on her, because they ain't going to just be these warrant reports for no reason. It's not going to just be these rinky-dink reports like, no, they on her ass. And that's one thing that she better just turn herself in and just get with the program.
There can be a very embarrassing situation between consenting adults, let alone between, an adult and a child.
When we first reported on the investigation, the district told News 4 in part, the staff member is no longer employed by Middale Schools, and we have worked closely with the family of the student in the wake of this accusation. Renault now facing a felony charge for using technology to engage in communication for sexual or prurient interest with a minor. Court documents say she sent a...
Well, let's really take this into perspective. And I'm not saying this to be an asshole or anything, but I really want to make this very clear to everybody who's watching. Remember, I do a lot of these videos when I talk about Death by Children, because this society is going downhill. Everything is the opposite of what it used to be. Morals is out the window. So the thing about it is like, when we talk about these different things, remember I did that video that's called the minor attraction video I did on the page. And when I had told you that, it's all this whole entire thing, this opening of having no problems with trying to say that someone can be minorly attracted to someone, you know what I'm saying? That a young adult or an adult can be attracted to minors, but they restrict their actions. So when I hear stuff like this report, this could obviously tell me that this woman in particular, this 28-year-old, was definitely probably a minor attracted woman, okay? And especially because in these times, I believe in my whole heart of hearts that when it comes to a certain amount of these cases on a wide screen, they're trying to enact the prophecy of NAMBLA. Probably not this one in particular, but to the same degree, you know what I'm saying? Targeting the male, but usually it's the male targeting the male targeting the young male, that is. Continue.
Picture of her topless, another of her posing in front of the mirror sideways with no clothes on, as well as an inappropriate video.
And I mean, I wonder, was it one of those photos that them shorties like to do where they put their feet up, where they it's really bad when they have when they lift their feet up, they do that duck face with the feet up. I mean, look, listen, man, I know about all that shit. There's a certain pose that these women online, these young women be posting online when they about to have a dick appointment. They put their feet up a little bit, they show them a little, they have their bra slide off, the bra string slide off a little bit and stuff like that. It's usually always the same thing. They take it in different angles. They post their pictures with the whole entire, the little apps they got on there, you know what I'm saying? The filters, you know what I mean? Just to add that little sexiness to the photo.
There can be a very embarrassing situation between consenting adults, let alone between, an adult and a child.
How is it embarrassing? This is what she meant to do. She's only embarrassed because she got caught. You understand? She got caught. And I don't know who turned her in. I don't know if it was the child that did, but at the end of the day, it's only embarrassing because she got caught. Because I guarantee you this, if the fact of the matter is this went under the radar and they decided to engage in a sexual relationship, she wouldn't give a fuck. She wouldn't care. She'd be getting dicked down by this young 16-year-old from soccer practice, having his balls go in her net. So, I mean, I understand what the brother is saying. I'm not mocking him. But it's only the fact of the matter, the crucial subconscious thing she had in the back of her mind made that decision not to really meet up with him, but knowing the fact of the matter, she can tease him a bit by sitting up there, sending out all these photos to make him or try to play with his mind, manipulate him into believing that he has a chance at scoring in her goal.
Student then allegedly asked the teacher to cash app him money, threatening he could, quote, ruin her career over the pictures.
You see that? And that's where it went dry. That's where it went the end all be all. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There seems to be a predatory mindset where she did, but at the same time, he used his manipulation where he said, okay, I offer you, you have to give me hush money so I don't tell all these people what you're actually doing behind closed doors or through this phone, through Snapchat. You see? That's why I think basically the relationship ended. And I think my reasoning is this. This is what I think. I think it's because of the fact that he was getting well horny enough that he wanted the real thing. You know, for a year, you're sending pictures and you ain't give me no ass. I didn't get pussy from you once. Nah. Okay. So now this is where I'm offering my side of the situation. Pay up that money, give me what I want, or we're gonna have some problems where I'm gonna tell the whole entire school that you were sending me these photos and you were doing this shit because you want to have sex with me, but you never did. See?
She ultimately sent him $120. The documents go on to say the former teacher owned up to the allegations, saying she knew it was wrong, but she thought he was 18 years old.
That's bullshit. Regardless if you thought the dude was 18 years old, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, you still sat there and wanted to go along with it because you were looking to have sex with that young child. You were. So to sit up there and say, I thought he was 18 years old. Number one, why would you do it in a high school? You were a soccer coach and then you was a teacher in that school. I mean, honestly, if you really wanted to go for an 18-year-old, wouldn't it be safe to go to a college or a university to go ahead and try to holler at a young boy? Like I'm just wondering, because in a high school, it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like in a high school, it's high school. Like you wouldn't try to go for a child in a high school. In a college, it's like, you know, they're free, they're more on their own, and this, that, and the third. This is when they really are able to date whoever they want at any age and stuff like that. Like the morality of how it is in high school and college is different. So no, I don't buy the fact of the matter that he was 18 years old and all this other stuff. That's just an alibi.
The Midwest City School District telling News 4 in part, the staff member is no longer employed by Middale Schools, and we have worked closely with the family of the student in the wake of this accusation.
I mean, at the end of the day, he got paid $120. He was able to be sent nudes for a year. He just never smashed. That's the only thing that happens. I mean, you can work closely with him. You can give his testimony, but I'm pretty sure he was probably smiling at the fact of the matter that he was able to attract an older woman, especially a teacher in a school. One that I'm pretty sure a lot of dudes viewed as hot. You understand? So I'm going to take you to the next video. I just want to give my perspective on this as well. You know, same old conversation. Another one of these women teachers that basically did a more predatory steez towards a student and, you know, charged with all this. Pete.
Allegations against another teacher at a local school, a music teacher charged with having an inappropriate relationship with a student. And that teacher replaced another music teacher 2 years ago who also allegedly had a relationship with a student.
Shelley Bortz is live with what she just learned about the investigation. Shelley.
Well, you're right. Olivia Ortz replaced the music teacher here at Wilmington Area School District 2 years ago after he lost his job for alleged inappropriate relationships with several students. He's awaiting trial.
As soon as it was discovered, it was reported to Childline, it was reported to us.
Police were alerted to a possible romantic relationship between then choir director Olivia Ortz and a 17-year-old student by the high school principal in April.
Well, goddamn, you were supposed to replace the male teacher that was there because he did exactly with the same thing you did, but you came into the school and wanted to do the same thing he did. Like, did they not warn you or tell you, like, this is the reason why we're having you serve as a teacher now? I mean, goddamn, like, it's amazing. What is this going to be, the dumping ground for predatory teachers to sit up there and hit on students? Like, as soon as she gets fired, there's another one that's going to come in and she or he going to do the same thing. Goddamn.
The month-long investigation, police say, turned up a treasure trove of evidence to support the claim, including text messages, a love letter, and overnights here at Ortz's home while her husband was out of town.
He believed.
Oh, so it's different. This one, the dude actually got the pipe and when her husband wasn't home. So, you know, this whole entire thing is, and the point is that it really don't be mattering these days about whether you're married or not. Like, it's the free reign of just knowing, like, I can just get off because my husband isn't doing it for me. So I need some new dick. I need some young dick because that's what attracts me and the young stallion, you know what I'm saying? So it's just pretty obvious with this situation to continue.
That it was an adult male that she was having a relationship with. She told him it wasn't what he thought, which certainly turned out to be accurate. And she ended up admitting that the letter was from a female student.
On May 5th, police executed a search warrant on the Ortz home.
I don't believe that. My whole entire thing is for that love letter to basically be written only tells me the fact of the matter that she was infatuated with the dick. I refuse to believe at the end of the day she's going to use that excuse it was from a female student. Please.
Home and confiscated a cell phone and iPad. Police say the two continued to communicate and exchanged 100 messages during a 2-day period last week until they got caught.
The two of them exchange over 100 surreptitious communications using a music app so nobody would discover it.
We went to Ortz's parents' home.
So basically just masking it, doing it in secret. So using another way of communicating with each other so that they're able to continue their sexual relationship.
Home in Hermitage where she is staying and knocked on the door. Her father greeted us. Is she home?
She's home. She don't comment.
Okay, would you like to make a comment?
Not at all.
Now, Ortz is being charged with intercourse and sexual conduct with a school student, as well as unlawful contact with a minor. Now, she's due in court next week.
Tonight,
And I make this video towards expecting parents and parents as well, especially fathers. I think it's very important to just have an upkeep of what's going on in school. Usually these different things are swept under the rug. I don't give a damn if the child is initiating trying to have a relationship with the teacher in question or the teacher is doing it to them. It's still very important to understand the behaviors that's happening in these schools because these times around, so many things is being thrown at your children. And, there's like no repercussions, or it's going to come to a point where there's no repercussions, or there's going to be excuse where orientation is going to be a factor in these conversations. Like, oh, I am minor attracted, but I didn't try to do anything with such and such student. We only exchanged text messages. So it may be a light sentencing, it may be this, it may be that. We never know because of how this society is going and what's being groomed for these children throughout this society and the future of our world. Peace.